Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I am Morris Merrill, the host of Straight Talk in Room 503, and also the author of Enough is Enough. I'm so glad that you're joining me this week in another class, and I'm looking forward to this class session. I have looked forward to it, and I'm looking forward to, hope you're looking forward to it as well. But ladies and gentlemen, there are lots we need to talk about. Normally, we start out by talking about what's going on in my hometown in the public school system, because as you heard me say so many times before, the same thing that's going on in my hometown is also going on in your hometown. It's just that you haven't paid attention to it. It's definitely going on. But ladies and gentlemen, before doing so, we're being bombarded by what's going on with presidential candidate Donald Trump. Donald Trump has pretty well lost his mind. But here's what's so amazing about it. We'll talk about Nene, Pee Wee, Bubba, Tawana. We'll talk about them. But yet we won't say nothing about Donald Trump because he's rich. Ladies and gentlemen, that's just plain crazy. It doesn't make any sense at all. This man is running for president of the United States. He is assaulting women's. And 99% of them are white women's. And I can't understand. It wouldn't make any difference if they was black, white, blue, or brown. Assault on a woman is the wrong thing. It's bad. But yet at the same time, we have white Americans and black Americans will not honor our president and say President Obama. We didn't say George. We didn't say Bill. We didn't say Andrew Jackson, Andrew. We said president. But now when I hear CNN, they always say Obama. When we in the black community, some of us, not all of us, we'll say Obama. Why can't we give him respect? He's getting ready to leave off one of the greatest presidents we ever had. When you put him next to Donald Trump, Donald Trump makes the president look like a saint. 8 years. No negative stuff on him. No negative stuff on his wife. Not even his daughters. That is not true about previous presidents' daughters. I won't get into that. That's not my style. But ladies and gentlemen, this man is running his hands on the women dress, skirts. He's not talking, he's sick. They asked the lady, well, what did he say to you? He just started doing it. The man has a sexual problem. He's a sexual predator. But yet they standing behind him. He's still drawing large crowds. I could not draw even an eighth of the crowd he draw. And I've not been guilty of that. But ladies and gentlemen, we have people from the religious community, senators, congressmen, doctors. They still supporting him. This lady was on there once and the lady was using his P-U-S-S-Y. And she said it. And the lady, don't say it, my daughters listen. What? I just wonder, what is the Republican white Americans saying to the daughter? Dad, what is Donald doing now? Where did he put his hands? And what did he say? Did he say that because he's a star, he can do what he wants to? What will they say when Megan come home and said, Dad, Todd felt on me, felt on my breast, ran his hand up my dress, referred to me as a B, that B word, B-I-T-C-H, get it. And the guy said, well, President Trump, he was doing it. And you voted for him. You got a sign out there in the yard. So if it's good enough for him to talk about your daughter that way and do that, it's okay with me. What do you say to your daughter? I know what you say about African Americans. They this and they do this. We fear them. We shoot them on the street and we do this. What do you say to your daughter now that a candidate of your race are saying and doing all the things? The man is just a loose cannon. Yeah. Let's get off of that. I don't even want to give him any more service time. But ladies and gentlemen, something is wrong in public education. When there is a meeting in my hometown where we're discussing the next superintendent, I would be very surprised if 5 ministers showed up this afternoon. I'll be shocked that if we have 10 sorority people dedicated that will be represented, our fraternities, our federation, our 10 members from the NAACP, our 10 members from the 100 Black Men. They won't show up. And they're already going on talking about who the next superintendent is all over the community. And it's not a man of color. In a 65% Black population of African Americans in the school system, it's a predominantly Black school system ran by everybody that's not African American. But ladies and gentlemen, that would be like going buying a pizza. And if you open the box and the pepperoni had a slice missing, would you buy it? The answer is no. You don't know if someone contaminated the other pizza that's left, but you wouldn't buy it. My question is then, why are we paying for public education and someone has ate a piece of the pie and went on to private schools and academy and homeschool and left public school children, and we're still paying our tax dollars to support it? We're going to get into some heavy stuff because I did make a few schools this week, and we got something that we're going to talk about shortly, just a few minutes. But here's another thing. Whether you are having heart surgery or you're getting a haircut, wouldn't you want a professional? If I told you that I'm a plumber and sit down, I'm going to cut your hair. Sit down or lay back on the operating table. I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to give you a heart transplant. You would say, that's crazy. No, you get up, no. Well, then someone answered the question, why is it that you can be a housewife, a plumber, electrician, professional hairstylist? If you can get 25 people to sign your petition, and then the people vote and you get the majority vote, you can be on the school board. And that's in your hometown, my hometown too. But ladies and gentlemen, why don't we have professionals on the Board of Education, professional people running the school department? And then you saying, oh, Mr. Mayor, I don't know what's going wrong. You don't understand what's going wrong. It's you. You're not staying abreast on things. You're not voting for the right people. During the course of the week, we in my hometown with my superintendent, the religious community opened its doors to the superintendent that we have in my hometown. Do you know that they have not had any meetings where they have brought her back in to talk about the failure of public education in my hometown? And you're not doing it in your hometown either. You're not having the sororities, fraternities, the NAACP, the Omegas, the Kappas, and the Deltas, and the Women's and the Masons. You're not holding meetings with the school board, with the superintendent, with principals and teachers to find out what the hell's going on, why our kids are still reading on third grade level. It's just business as usual. And you still singing, if anybody asks you where I'm going, tell them I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. Don't let Donald Trump hear you singing that song because you don't want to hear what Donald would say to you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a small break and I'll be right back with you. And I'm going to bring you the information that I received this week in our tour of the school system. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the schools in my hometown that I went to this week. So when I call the name of the home school in my hometown, you just substitute the name in your hometown. The same stuff is going on. Ladies and gentlemen, me and Mr. Baxter and I, this past Monday, we went to a school by the name of Northeast Middle School. It's a regular school, and inside it is also have a private school paid for by taxpayers' dollars. So I call it a private school inside a public school paid for by taxpayers' dollars. You have to have a lottery to get into the school, and when you start having lotteries, it's a private school, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, let's look at the totals. We have a total of 460 students there. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, standing error. We got 922 students there. Now, let's look at the breakdown. The number of blacks, 476. Excuse me. Hispanics, 109. Mexicans, 18. Whites, 288. Now, keep in mind, 476 blacks, 288 whites. The majority of the school body is African Americans. Here again, the principal is white. She's a white female. That's who our illustrious superintendent behind, white females. Then we find the black community quiet. Oh, we're not going to join Mr. Merriweather, Mr. Baxter. They're troublemakers. They don't represent us. Well, who in the hell represents you? You don't represent nobody. You won't even show up at meetings, but yet you lie and say you care about the children. You have nieces and nephews, cousins in the school system, but yet you will not go. They don't get to see granny, aunt, uncle, cousin. Don't you care about what happened to me, uncle? Don't you care about what happened to me, grandmama? I would answer and say she probably don't. She's probably faking it because she don't attend meetings. She won't ask any questions. She won't say, Pastor, why don't we have meetings addressing during the course of the week? Every church door should be open. There should be a meeting on some subject every night. We can come together, have nightly meetings. Everybody's not going to show up at every one of them, but we should be having meetings on public education, meetings on recreation for our youth, where the city should be going, what we need to be doing with employment of African Americans. We should be talking about Black Lives Matters and Everybody Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter. We should be having meetings. How do we establish relationships with the police department? There's so much we can do in the course of the week. But the church doors are open only on Sunday and Monday, Sunday and Wednesday. Very few of our churches are having other things. And those who are having other things they're only for their congregation. It's not something going on. And we all talk about going to heaven, but yet we have segregated things going on. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to do better than we're doing. But when we arrived at this school, Reverend Baxter and I went to the desk. We started to sign it in. And we said we would like to tour the buildings. We're not asking to knock on the doors and talk to teachers, interrupt the students. We just want to tour the building and look at the students and see if they're on task, how many teachers, how the buildings are being kept up, interior and exterior wise. Talk with the principal. What can we do? We're asking them, what can we do to make it better? But the moment that we put our name on, the young lady got up and went back and told the principal, there's two black guys up there, and it's Mr. Merriweather and Reverend Baxter. And I'm not sure. I've heard of both of them. Tell them that I'm in a meeting and I will be up there shortly, and I'll give them a tour. So we had a seat. We sit there for about 15 minutes, maybe 20. The young lady, I noticed she got up and she went back up there, and I'm assuming that, are they still up there? Have they left yet? We're still sitting there. You said you was going to meet with us. She come back and says, oh, I'm sorry. The principal says that she is still in a meeting and she can't meet with you all today. If you leave your number, she'll call us. Ladies and gentlemen, I was born in 1951. I wasn't born yesterday. I know that lady was not going to call us back. Can you see her calling, Mr. Merriweather, would you mind coming back so we can show you the school and answer your question? Hold on. I know that we have majority blacks over here, but It's being ran by whites just like the other schools. No, we're not hiring black males. And yes, Bubba and Pee Wee is still reading on the third grade level. She wasn't about to do that. So Reverend Baxter said to her, well, how many principals do you have over here? In a middle school, got 2 assistant principals. We just left Whitehall Elementary School. No assistant principal. It's a predominantly black school too. But the difference over here, Mr. Mayor, we have a private school inside a public school, and we have more white students, so we get more personnel over here. You understand, don't you? No, I really don't. I really don't. That's unfair. So we left because we could not get to see the school. You would think that we would have gotten a call by now to come back. She said she would call us. No, we haven't been called back yet. So, ladies and gentlemen, sound like they got something to hide. All right. Well, we decided to head over to Andrew Jackson, which is a elementary school, K through 5. So we headed over there. I want to pause right now and tell you that the young lady who is the principal over there is doing an outstanding job over there against the odds. She was doing an observation, so we was told, watch the difference. White principal says, no, can't see the school and we're taxpayers. It would seem to me that the black community would be in arms when you hear this teleclass of the 503. Mr. Merriweather is out there working for our children. He does not have a child in public education. Thank God that my granddaughter is in Crockett County. I would dare bring her over here in this mess and not have the support of the African American community in terms of making sure she get the quality education she so desperately deserves. But ladies and gentlemen, we quiet. You would think the community we raising here, why was 2 African American, 1 minister, 1 deacon, and 1 former administrator of this school system cannot go and see what's going on and let us know about what's going on with our kids. Has no one said anything. And when they look at this telecast, nobody gonna say anything. My telephone not gonna ring. My email inbox not gonna fill up. My books are not gonna fly off the shelf. No one's gonna call Reverend Baxter. It's gonna be quiet. It makes me wonder how many of us have sold out to the powers that be in the good old boy system at the expense of our own children. Shame on you. Shame on you. Now I guess you want to sing that song. If anybody asks you where I am going, I'm going up yonder. And then the hands start doing like this. Think about it. We got to the school, and these are the statistics. 30 teachers at a school called Andrew Jackson in my hometown. 30 teachers. 10 black teachers. 20 white teachers. $922 students. 476 black. 288 white. Majority white teachers. And you call yourself intelligent with your master's degree, your PhD, and your little job. Then when we looked at the statistic for kindergarten, 5 teachers in kindergarten, 3 white teachers, 2 black teachers. Whites went out again. 1 librarian. Oh, maybe she's black. No, I'm sorry. She's white. All right. One of the questions I asked, are there computers in the library and are they being utilized? No, Mr. Merriweather. They're not even hooked up. What? Reverend, what month is this? October? September? August, September, October. You mean that they're not hooked up yet? And we have a tech guy that was making over $70,000 and they can't get around to our babies? If we ever need computers, this needs to be in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and third grade. Statistics will tell you by the time they get to third grade, they are pretty well decided on what they're going to do in life. But I said, take me to the library. So we went to the library. We got down there. I have a photo if anybody wishes to say, Mr. Real, it's not right. I have a photo that would show that they're not connected up. They just pile up in there. Our kids can't even go to the library. But that's because majority of the students are black. Let's just call it like we do. This is straight talk. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything, make you feel good, turn you on, freak you out. I'm here to tell you the unadulterated truth. That's what straight talk is called. Straight talk in room 503, and you getting it straight. If you don't like it, just push it off. But I'm going to keep giving it to you. Second grade, we got 5 teachers. The majority wins again. 3 whites, 2 blacks. 4th grade and 5th grade, we got 5 teachers, 2 blacks, 3 whites in the 4th grade. The whites are still holding the majority in a predominant black school, in a predominant black school system. And you saying we doing good. In the 5th grade, we have 2 whites, 2 blacks. Tie. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a sad day. I asked this question, scared for the answer. I said, ma'am, I noticed that in walking around, I do not see a black male teacher. Please tell me that there is a male teacher here that's black. And she said, Mr. Merriweather, I'm sorry. We don't have a black male teacher here in the whole building. Pee Wee and Pookie, they see no one of color, nothing but females. Then we wonder why they have so little respect for females. They're being raised, most of them, in homes where there is no father. They're dealing with grandmama, and I don't use this word, they say auntie, and it's really aunt. If they go to church, the Sunday school teacher is female. They get to school, it's female. They only seeing females. And then we wonder why that we're looking on national TV and we see them stretched out, bucking on the street. They've been shot 4 or 5 times. Some with their hands in the air and they still shot us. Some that wasn't reaching for nothing, they shot us. Some that didn't have no guns, but they shot us. And we still at home talking about we're going up yonder to be with our Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, it's most ridiculous. Stay with me. We're going to wrap this up. The clock on the wall says it's time for me to get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to wrap this thing up and get out of here. My question is, as we wrap this session up, aren't you too old to be playing these political games with the good old boys and our so-called leaders and politicians? I was just talking with a gentleman this week, and we began to enumerate in my hometown, and you can do it in your hometown with your leadership. In my hometown, majority of my leadership and some of my religious people in the community, some of them have gotten big, nice churches, and I've had my investigators to find out why they are not working with Reverend Baxter and I. And my investigators are coming back and saying, Mr. Merriweather, they're being pimped. Some of them are being pimped. And I said, no. I said, find out about the religious leaders. He said, I'm talking about them. He said, some of them got these big churches. And I said, well, they don't have the big congregation. So what's going on? He said, Mr. Merriweather, majority of them are Republicans. What? And they're being, I said, do not use that word. Don't use pimp around me. He said, well, their churches are being bagged by elite people in the community with money. I said, that sounds like buyout. Well, no wonder they're not going to deal with Meriwether. They're going to deal with Mr. Charlie. I said, now, wait a minute. I can't understand. We do have some churches that have small membership, but big buildings. And he began to tell me the names of the people who've got them. I said, well, what about our board members and our city council and our NAACP? He said, Mr. Meriwether, you're going to be surprised who they're dealing with. They're not going to deal with you. Do you have any money to give? No, I don't have any money. I'm not pimping nobody, buying nobody out. He said, well, then they're not going to deal with you. He said that they're doing favors and everything. I know personally there are people in our school system that would have never gotten a job if it hadn't been for Mr. Bill and Mr. Charlie and Miss Susie. And the community is quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some serious problems in my community, yours. Think about your leaders at home. Are they meeting with you? Or are they meeting with them? Have you noticed that they're faring well, much better than the average person in our community? They sold out. But in my hometown, I won't call this his name because I don't want to spend no time in court fighting this dude. But years and years ago, a well-known political person in my hometown holding a law enforcement position called Commissioner T.C. Olger to his penthouse and wanted us to convert to Republican Party, and we both said no. His response to me was, you'll pay. What kind of talk is this? Well, ladies and gentlemen, when I handcuffed some students, and I did, they was getting out of hand. Superintendent wouldn't support him before I let someone innocent child. I handcuffed them. Not ashamed of it. Wasn't found guilty of a criminal act. Didn't hurt anybody, but I did it. Ladies and gentlemen, surely you won't say nothing about me. And Donald Trump said it's okay to fondle, to talk about your sisters, your daughters, your cousin, your nieces, your nephews. And then you're going to talk about Meriwether? Well, have at it. Donald Trump said, frankly, I don't give a, you fill in the blank. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a call from the police department. Chief says, Mr. Meriwether, we're dropping charges because someone is on a witch hunt. It's because you're so straight and you don't cater to no particular group. They want you. And so I'm being told that there's a TBI investigation of you that went on for 3 months. And finally, in the 3rd month, had to say, we find no fault in this man. Nobody was hurt. He did what he had to do. But ladies and gentlemen, when I call this distinguishing person, when they see him, people in our community, how you Mr. So-and-so? How you Mr. So-and-so? He told me on the phone, I said, why is it that you keeping this investigation going? They didn't do a good job. I said, what do you want to do? Have me in shackles in your courtroom? And his response was that I'm on a try. And I said to him, hell will freeze over before I'll be in your courtroom in shackles. And here I am today in the class of Straight Talk and still have not been arrested. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a sad day. We're letting this mess go on and we said nothing because I wouldn't sell out. So some of my distinguishing brothers in my community have sold out to the Republican Party. I'm not down in the Republican Party, Democrat Party, no one, but I sell out for no man. I'm sold out for God. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Morris Meriwether, in the class of Straight Talk. Thank you again for listening to me. I trust that one day you decide to purchase the book. Go to www.morrismeriwether.com or Amazon, Books A Million. It's out there. And ladies and gentlemen, until we meet again, stay informed. Nothing like an ignorant person. Appreciate you. Thank you for joining me this week. Let me get my grade book and give you Good, grateful. You've been in class. You listening to me. Take care now.